Hey yo, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome back to an all new episode where we talk All American. And today we'll be talking about what may be ahead in the future for Jordan and Simone. Now, this is definitely an interesting topic, in my opinion, given everything that's gone on. And, I'm curious to hear what may go down between them as a result of everything that we found out to this point. So, without further ado, let's get right down to it because I'll tell you, I am really excited to see what lies ahead for them. Hopefully, I'm hoping you guys feel the same way about it, but, you know, let's get right down to it. So, first, I'd kind of like to talk about what Jordan and Simone's marriage means for her eventual spinoff. And, obviously, we found out that they got married back when they were in Vegas a couple of episodes ago, in the flashback. And in my opinion, I think this definitely puts a twist on the story ahead of Simone's spin-off show. And, as we know, we saw Simone join All American Story during season 2 when she tricked Jordan into believing that he was the father of her soon-to-be child. And, although this obviously proved not to be the case, as we know, Jordan fell in love with her, and, the two have had a strong relationship ever since. And, we have seen Simone become a slightly more central character this season, and what I mean by this is I feel like we've seen her, with more of Jordan's friends, because I feel like in the past season, a lot of the times we saw her, it was only with Jordan, but, I feel like in this season we've gotten to see a little more of, her and, Olivia and Layla, and, she's actually talking to Spencer and everything. So, you guys kind of get what I'm saying, about how she's become a slightly more central character this season. And, I definitely think that this is part of the reason I think that part of the reason why she's become more central is because of the fact that the CW, plans to give her a spinoff, just so that we can kind of get some more info on her and, we kind of know what to expect when this spinoff show begins. And, I did some research and I heard that a backdoor pilot for the spinoff will be included at some point in this season 3. And, it'll most likely set up Simone for her college adventure. And, I did hear that the show could very well be called All American Homecoming. And, it teases that her story will largely focus on pursuing her tennis career again, which, as you know, we found out back in the episode at the cabin. And, she'll also be attending a historic black college, in Princeton, I think. So, that'll definitely be something to kind of dive into, I think, with her and Jordan possibly being far apart from one another, that could eventually result in their demise, but we'll get to that later. And, I'm sure we'll see, the expected young adult drama troubles, like, mostly including romantic ones, whether or not Jordan's in the picture, so, and I did hear a rumor that, the show will be co-led by a Chicago native baseball player, which I'm not 100% sure on the details of that, but I'll be sure to fill you guys in on that once I hear more about it. So, and, for me personally, I feel like heading into this season 3, it seemed like the best way to set up that next chapter in her story leading up to the spinoff would be most likely to end her relationship with Jordan, but I personally feel like, the show has done the exact opposite of that, with marriage and everything. So, at this point, we now kind of circle back to their marriage, and as I mentioned before, we found out in the Vegas flashback episode that Jordan and Simone got married, and, they originally planned to elope in secret, but, as we saw, Spencer and Olivia attended the ceremony in the end. And, I feel like this revelation kind of came as a huge surprise because, nothing else in season 3 indicated that their relationship advanced to this level. And, give all that credit to the writers. They did a really good job of covering it up and making sure that they didn't include anything that could lead us to believing that something really drastic had happened during the summer. So, we've seen throughout this season, obviously, post their marriage, that they've had some rough patches recently. And, we see that they're still committed to making this relationship work. And, now that All American has kind of revealed their marriage, I feel like it's not that difficult not to think about what it means for her spinoff. And, I feel like it's especially true considering the fact that there hasn't been any signs that Jordan is moving to this new show. And I think that's definitely something to think about. And, obviously Jordan is one of the main characters of All American. And, I definitely think that he should continue to be involved in it once season 4 comes around, and I think there is a slight chance that he could spend time as a recurring character on both shows. But, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like that might get pretty complicated quickly, with a couple different storylines. So, however, that might be what ends up happening now that that his marriage to Simone has been revealed to, the fans. And I think it's important to know in this situation that it's not appearing to be public knowledge yet. It seems like Spencer and Olivia are the only ones who know to this point. And, I think that if the marriage does last into the spinoff, then I feel like the secret will have to be revealed by them, which could be very interesting. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But, we've been talking for a while that what might be the aftermath of Billy and Laura find out about his marriage. And I think it's definitely something to get into. Who knows, they might not find out about it, but we'll just have to wait and see. So it's definitely interesting, in my opinion. I'm curious to see what happens. Okay, I think that given the secrecy surrounding this marriage, there's definitely a chance that the writers could make this marriage short-lived. And, with Simone going to college for tennis and Jordan potentially going to play football somewhere else, I think a long-distance marriage for 2 college kids would definitely be tough to go through. So I do think that Jordan and Simone getting a divorce would be a strange decision, though. And, I say this because I feel like nothing seems to have changed since getting married, So I feel like the writers easily could have just left them as a dating couple, if the split was coming, But I think that if season 3 continues to set up Simone's spinoff and kind of unravels their marriage, these two elements I think would definitely become intertwined, So it's definitely something to think about. It could be really interesting. And, it's definitely something to watch out for. So, curious to hear what you guys think about it, if you feel the same way about it, that's great. But, if not, just drop a comment down below and I'll try my best to hit you back. So, okay, so next we'll kind of start to dive into the fact that I've definitely heard some people talking about the possibility of a relationship evolving between Jordan and Layla. And, obviously in this scenario, I feel like the odds of this happening are kind of a long shot at the moment, with Jordan being married to Simone and all. And, Layla just got out of a relationship. So, I honestly don't really know if she's in a position to just hop into another one, And obviously before, she wasn't going to just hop back in with Spencer because she was battling depression. But, in this scenario, I don't really think she should, just because, like, the way that they broke up was pretty drastic. Spencer had lied to her for, a while, and it didn't end well. So, I don't know if Layla wants to. Plus, at the moment, Layla's not really close with Spencer or Olivia, so, the odds of her getting with Jordan and having to see Olivia all the time, and most likely Spencer as well, just, it would be really awkward, and, it maybe it would force them to kind of get over their issues, with Jordan and Layla together, but I could see the writers doing that, but I think it'd definitely be interesting to see how they go about that possible conflict of those two being together. So, um, I feel like people have said that they can see them together because, he's always so kind and genuine with her, and it seems to me that he smiles ear to ear when talking to her, so I feel like if something were to happen between the two of them, then that would definitely set up what the future looks like for Simone's spin-off show. And for me, I think that it definitely depends on the fact of whether or not Jordan and Simone get a divorce, or I honestly feel like we could see Jordan cheat on Simone because it's nothing super personal, but I feel like I could see the writers having Jordan do something like that and, ending things with Simone in an ugly way. But, once again, I think that people do like to link Jordan and Layla because, in reality, I don't really think they see Jordan and Simone making their relationship work. And, if that were the case, then I think people would like to see them together, but it's a lot to think about. And plus, I feel like if Jordan were to get a divorce with Simone without anyone knowing about it, then, he's good to go. He doesn't ever have to bring it up. But, we'll just have to wait and see what happens throughout the duration of the rest of this season. I'm definitely excited because, to this point, we've been wondering, like I said earlier, for a little bit now, what may go down if Jordan and Simone's marriage does get exposed. But, it is what it is. We'll just have to wait and see. And, there's a lot to discover to this point. So, it's gonna make things really, really interesting to go into season 4. If they aren't together, and if Jordan and Layla are together while they're in college, it's gonna be interesting. So, all right, now we're kind of to the point in the episode where I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this whole situation, and will we see Jordan and Simone's relationship last once the season ends? And Simone's spin-off show could very well include Jordan, but like I said before, I think it could get complicated with two different storylines, but we'll just have to wait and see. Or could we see a divorce between Jordan and Simone? And, if so, could that lead to us seeing a relationship develop between Jordan and Layla? And lastly, will we ever see Billy and Laura find out about the marriage of Jordan and Simone, even if it doesn't work out for them? I'm definitely interested in hearing your guys' opinions and what you would think of each situation that I mentioned. So once again, feel free to just go for it. I'm not going to call you out or anything like that if I don't agree with you, so let's just keep the conversation civil as always. And of course, I hope you all enjoyed this video. And as always, this has been Austin Bielik, bringing you all American videos daily during the week, while the series is on hiatus until April 12th. And we're almost just 2 weeks away, everybody. So we'll get there. We're about to the halfway point at the moment right now. So have a good day, everybody, and we'll see you in the next episode, which will be on Monday. So have a good one. Bye.